Over 15 years ago, a few men and women had a dream. Today that dream is the cornerstone of legal aid and access to justice in Uganda. It has touched lives of individuals in ways hitherto unimaginable. This is the story of Legal Aid Service Providers Network, LASPNET, over a journey of 15 years. The story also gives an insight of how we shall see the organization as we look to its future.
All the way down to the end.
I am very glad that as a network, we can celebrate 15 years of existence. It has been a journey that began as a loose coalition. And I'm glad that the founding partners, all the organizations, are still around. They have lived to see their baby nurtured to this level.
As we are celebrating these 15 years, we need to consolidate those gains and try to ensure that as we visualize the future, we intend to have great strides to achieve the vision, which is a free and just society.
In 2004, legal aid and access to justice was a scattered affair. A few organizations provided the service, but none consulted the other. Experiences were rarely shared. The organizations competed, and the visions were blurred. They were lone rangers. Was that helpful?
There were overlaps all that time, and we felt that that was a waste of resources. If we could work together, then we might be able to specialize.
Today we look to the year 2004 with pride. A baby that continues to grow in leaps and bounds. That baby is the champion of legal aid and access to justice in Uganda. The idea of the founders was a loose coalition to steer involvement of private sector players in addressing the issues directly affecting the poor in accessing justice. But that idea was only building blocks for more things to come.
It was an exciting moment because the Legal Aid Basket Fund had been supporting legal aid work in Uganda for a while. There was need to have a coordinated way of supplying legal aid services to people in need in Uganda. So that is the premise upon which LASPNET was born under the Legal Aid Basket Fund at the time.
This journey was an idea. I'm glad and I congratulate the first directors of this institution, Theo Webale, Madam Theo Webale, who was then the manager, legal clinic of Law Development Center, Honorable Flavia Mnaba, who was then the founder and executive director of Public Defenders Association, and then Madam Anne Campile. She's now a little bit impaired because of health, but at least we are able to go to her, and she was able to smile and remember that she was part of this.
At the inception, we really didn't have even an office. We just used to have meetings from each legal aid service provider would offer their office. So if it was one time it would be at Legal Aid, LDC, the next time it would be at Foundation for Human Rights.
Since its inception, LASPNET has had 2 secretariat heads recruited. Mr. Richard Nsumba Muganzi. He was the first coordinator of LASPNET. He served for 7 years until he exited the organization in March 2015. LASPNET got a new executive director, Dr. Sylvia Namubiru. Sylvia has consolidated the network's programming, increasing staffing from 7 to now over 21, bringing on board volunteers, establishing a robust research and knowledge management hub, amplifying the voice and visibility of the network mandate, expanding development and strategic partners, among others.
So in the strategic plan, we changed the theory of change to be more of collaborative platforms, networking, but also strengthening those areas where our mandate is expected to ensure justice for all. We created the Department of ICT, Finance Transformation was already there, program was there, but we strengthened it with officers. And then we use a lot of volunteers. This also is part of mentoring and growing a team of lawyers and social work, social development practitioners that can be able to pick the vision of the network and take it forward.
When I joined as a board member, we only had one donor, DDF then. Right now, the income streams have been diversified, both from donors but also from other alternative sources of income. To me, that's huge in terms of growth, but also in terms of sustainability, that the organization doesn't have to depend on one donor, but also on single-handed donor funding. There are also other means that are coming into, and therefore I know that the organization can survive even when one donor pulls out.
For me, this program is central to that. Of all our values that we have in Ireland, people having access to justice is a central platform to help people through very, very difficult times.
LASPNET has a membership of 54 organizations spread in 70 districts in Uganda. LASPNET was established to enhance member ownership and participation in collective programs, as well as to offer a platform of opportunities for development partnerships and strategic networking with all the relevant actors in the justice, law and order sector. These diverse and clustered members are based on the thematic areas in which they operate.
It has managed to move within the 15 years from struggling to attract members to actually members seeking and wanting to be a part of it. For me, these are demonstrations of its value.
We are lucky to be among the founding organizations. The beauty of being a LASPNET member is that we have a pool of other organizations who do the same work that we do. So in the event that we have a client who comes to us and wants legal aid services that are in a place that where our offices are not, we're able to refer our clients to a known LASPNET member.
We joined it precisely because we knew the goals and the visions of LASPNET were quite rhyming with our vision of promoting and protecting the rights of the vulnerable people. And of course, as legal aid service providers, we had a lot of issues around persons with disabilities accessing justice in communities. So we thought joining LASPNET would have a marriage, creating a synergy to ensure that the rights of persons with disabilities are always well protected.
We needed a partner like LASPNET who can be able to link us to other service providers who can provide legal aid to these other individuals. Most of the other community members who reach to us for legal aid and support, we get partners from the LASPNET network. We know that in LASPNET is where you can get any service provider for any issue, any aspect. So we keep on recommending members to join LASPNET.
We have an institution that is working on access to justice daily, engaging government, changing the way things are done, addressing bottlenecks in access to justice. And also we have an institution that is generally fighting for the rule of law in this country. So LASPNET has come into that gap, that working with other partners, with other CSOs, we're able to focus on our core mandate, which is coordinating legal aid service providers and our members, and collectively working with government to address systematic challenges in access to justice and human rights in this country.
While contemplating on the future, it is also important to celebrate the past and reflect on a journey characterized with achievements, lessons, and opportunities. Over the years, the network as a platform for promoting legal aid and access to justice has made notable achievements. These have been through partnerships and strategic networking, research and knowledge management, lobby and advocacy, among others.
First of all, the idea and the vision of setting up a legal aid service providers network is an achievement in itself to deal with the issues of access to justice.
It amplifies the voices of these legal aid service providers to try and show within the justice and order sector what they are doing and what they are speaking to or what they are contributing to. So that voice where the LASPs that are, say, in the regions or at the grassroots cannot come and articulate, we do articulate. So we amplify the voice. We bring out their plight. We bring out the plight of the people they serve, the vulnerable people, by bringing the issues that affect them.
LASPNET has now become a household name that everyone knows. If I need something, I can easily run out to LASPNET. If at all they are even doing execution of cases under the bailiffs system on behalf of the indigents, then it has really done a lot to ensure that we support the members and the community at large.
LASPNET has supported tracking of the legal aid law and policy. This has been spearheaded in partnership with Greater North Parliamentary Forum.
There has been progress in terms of pushing for a legal aid policy and law, and we are beginning to see some fruits of that. We already see that there is a member of parliament who's decided to take up the bill as a private member's bill, although we do hope that the state will take ownership of that bill and be able to see it to completion.
Through networking and collaborative platforms, LASPNET has a continuously growing catalogue of partners and stakeholders.
For funding this project. These properties, unless you don't know what bailiffs do.
We've done a few cases with them where they've asked bailiffs to offer their services to some people who are successful in litigation so that they can help them realize the fruits of their judgments. And we shall give them all the support that they require. If LASPNET does not cover this gap, then what happens? What they are doing is what we need for our society. And LASPNET on this one, they score so highly and they're on the right path.
Our motivation was twofold. LASPNET has providers who are also our members and also reaches out to the indigent persons who are also our members. So we felt the need for us to partner with them and also bring access to justice closer to our members and also ensure that our members are aware of our mandate.
nabo bashome bacenga hari abenyu uko batineke bakumanya nibazoko bakotagirwa emshange banyiga banyagwa amataka gabo banyagwa ibintu byabo abo butagira kumanya hibarashikira hakijata tata polisi ninti nayo mambaza kunkoma ma ninza kutugirira konka abantu bafune mishomonkeje hatebe byona no mu cyaro nibihamo sombwe n'abantu baturo mu buteka burungi bushomesiwe.
I got pregnant when I was 18. That was in my work, and the father of my daughter denied the baby, so my family came in and took full responsibility, and they let me go back to school, which was so wonderful. And after I had my daughter, he showed up and took her away from me. So I took 5 years without seeing my daughter. So my friend told me about FIDA, and I came here and he gave me back my daughter. So I have full custody. The only thing he had to do is pay tuition and medical treatment.
LASPNET participates in many national and regional based advocacy and dialogue meetings. These are convened by various partners. LASPNET makes her contribution as a participant, facilitator and presenter on issues related to human rights, legal aid and access to justice. LASPNET has received recognition for its work in various spheres relating to access to justice. Working closely with the justice, law and order sector, LASPNET is at the forefront of research and policy formulation.
We coordinate groundbreaking researches. Our products are always done very well and have been received by a wide range of stakeholders. There's a lot of work that that is invested before actually coming up with most of these documents, maybe advocating for a particular issue, and have informed practice change, but also have been highly sought out by the different stakeholders, including the justice, law and order sector, the media, and also the membership organizations.
The recent products from LASPNET speak about their research, and they shift from again, framework formation to a think tank. Currently, I would like to look at LASPNET as a think tank. And if you talk about the future, this is where LASPNET needs to be looking at.
We've done this, of course, as an institution here, ensuring that we develop ourselves in terms of capacity to deliver on our mandates. And ensure that we are functional as an organization, but also the fact that we do build the capacity of our members here. For example, we have a training on trial advocacy, which is done by Justice Advocacy Africa and now Justice Advocacy Uganda. That is a very good training, and if you have asked some of our members, many of them say that is the best thing that has happened to them.
LASPNET launched its first strategic plan 2010 to 2015 as a group of organizations offering free legal aid services. The network formed itself into a loose network to draw up a formal plan of action that gives it a sound basis for working with the government in the process of providing justice to vulnerable, indigent and marginalized persons in Uganda. Following the expiry of the LASPNET Corporate Strategic Plan 2010 to 2015, the network embarked on the process to develop another one to see its strategic direction for the period 2015 to 2020. This is the current strategy which has guided the network's programming. Efforts are underway to develop a new strategy. LASPNET has so far produced a total of 9 annual reports. These have provided accountability to its members and strategic partners on progress of the set targets and areas of focus, as well as resources used in a given year.
Then we have also an information management system that is part of institutional development and enhancement. That information management system is housed here, but we are able to give this software to all our legal service providers, especially those who don't have their own information management system. And we encourage them to use this information management system to capture cases, to capture records, particulars of clients, status of clients, satisfaction of clients, referral processes. So we don't see the cases in detail, but we are able to tell the nature and trends of the kind of cases they are handling. And that way they are able also to use this information system to get out reports. We've done training on resource mobilization. We know that many of our LASPs are suffering in terms of sustainability and with donor funding dwindling. So it is very important that they maintain sound systems, especially accounting systems, that they maintain good governance and oversight, to their work, but also that they are able to use the work they are doing to do resource mobilization.
it's even going to be bigger than anything else in East Africa. It should take the lead in East Africa as the legal aid service providers who give the vision and mission for the greater East Africa. We're looking beyond our borders. And when we take the vision and mission beyond ourselves as Uganda, that means that we're able to influence the East African agenda in a way that makes a lot of sense.
They need to focus more on advocacy and lobbying, aggressive advocacy and lobbying. Once we have the bill, once we have the laws that are advocating for the poor and the vulnerable, then it will be easy to have a legal aid service provision.
The other thing that I would like LASPNET to do is to focus on mapping this country, to identify the gaps where we have strong legal aid service providers, and those areas where we don't have, so that over time we can possibly encourage people to get to those areas.
People out there who cannot quickly come to court to apply for hearing dates, even when they apply for hearing date, the judicial officers may not easily be available. Those voiceless people should be helped.
And continue to be innovative, continue to search for solutions to provide the rule of law and to provide legal aid to as many people as possible. In my view, the legal aid bill and the policy that still haven't been decided upon yet, and on which Cabinet has been chewing now for many, many years, and we sincerely hope that we as development partners do the same.
The leadership that I see today is still very energetic. The head of LASPNET is fantastic. The board chair I met, she's fantastic. So it's putting that whole energy, and that you see you're complementing the government systems that hopefully will be in place, and that you remain true to your vision. I think the vision is very, very relevant, and the program remains relevant to the people.
These 15 years have been important to LASPNET. LASPNET is grateful to all those who have helped offer legal aid and access to justice for the poor, vulnerable and marginalized communities in Uganda through her membership.
I saw the small beginnings when the institution was still being hosted at the Law Development Center. I saw the growth to registration, and I see, as chair, I saw the challenges that there were that could have broken the network. At some point, we did not think we could survive the challenges that we were facing at that time. But the fact that we overcame those challenges and the network remained strong and is actually growing stronger, I can only say congratulations. It's been a long journey.
I would like to congratulate our development partners, Democratic Governance Facility, that began as a Legal Aid Basket Fund, and all the individuals that were there. We have individuals that we remember, like Dr. Zahara Nampel, who was there, Mr. Musa Mudoi. We thank them so much for finding that LASPNET was worthy to be funded, and all the people who have kept on coming. I want to mention a few individuals. Like when I came, I found Sophie Lassim, who was then the program manager. And then Martha Nanjobe, I should mention Martha Nanjobe. In the legal aid sector, she has been very useful from the Democratic Governance Facility. I'd like to the board of directors of the democratic facilities in their respective capacities, the head of finance, everyone who has been and has ensured that they provide financial and technical support to this network from its time when it began funding them up to right now when they are at the Democratic Governance Facility. We thank you so much. We don't take their support for granted, because if they were not here, probably LASPNET would not be what it is. I would like to thank other partners that have come on board. The UNDP on Rule of Law and Constitutional Program, ICNL on the Justice Speech, Oxfam on the Sudden Opportunity, My Land, My Rights, Action Aid on the Fair Green Global, and other partners that have given us short-time funding. Thank you so much for giving us resources that have enabled us to achieve our milestones. And we hope that we can continue a fruitful journey from 15 years to 50 years. And that when we come back to celebrate the Golden Jubilee, it will all be cheers.